Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, may I start my presentation? Ma'am, am I audible?
1 minute, sir. We'll start the meeting. Good evening to everyone present here. Am I
Yes,
audible?
Tawhida.
Yes, ma'am. Am I
Yes,
audible, ma'am?
I think it's I did this. I mean, Maria Preeti, Dr. Maria Preeti called you.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am told us to start the meeting.
Start, yes.
Okay. Good evening to everyone present here. A very warm welcome to yet another intellectually stimulating session of fortnightly symposia in tandem research club. As a part of a thematic series titled Regions and Translations in Indian Writing, today's session focuses on the vibrant and diverse literary cultural landscapes of the East, West, and Central regions of India. We are delighted to have two insightful paper presentations lined up for this evening, each offering a rich academic engagement with the regional literature, culture, and interdisciplinary approaches. Our first presenter for today's session is Mr. Abhik Sarkar. His presentation is titled Infodemics and Epidemics, Rumors, Media, and Public Health in West Bengal. Mr. Abhik Sarkar is currently a PhD scholar in the Department of Comparative Literature at Jadavpur University. His research focuses on the intricate relationship between public health and narrative traditions in the late 19th and early 20th century Eastern India. He particularly studies Bengal's complex history with epidemics. He is also part of SPARC, project on academic social responsibility and the humanities in India, a collaborative initiative between Jadavpur University and the University of East Anglia, UK. Through this project, he works extensively on indigenous and marginalized languages of West Bengal. His scholarship insects literature, history, culture, and epidemiology, aiming to unpack how stories, rumors, and media shape public understandings of health crisis in both colonial and post-colonial contexts. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Abhik Sarkar to present his paper. Sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to share my screen. Is it visible? Is it visible?
Yes, it is. It
Yes,
is.
sir.
It
Okay.
is.
Okay. Thank you. I'm presenting my paper on infodemics and epidemics, rumors, media, and public health in West Bengal. Rumors and epidemics have long been intertwined, with the former often betting the latter's devastating impact. In times of crisis, panic, fear, and confusion can overwhelm the public, hindering effective response and mitigation efforts. This paper presents a comparative analysis of the plague epidemic of the 1890s and the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 to 2021 in India, focusing on West Bengal. It examines the regulatory measures implemented by the British government during the plague epidemic and the rumors that circulated, as well as the guidelines and rules issued by the government of India during the COVID-19 pandemic and the accompanying rumors. These studies aims to explore the nature of rumors, their probable causes, the role of media in disseminating misinformation, and its subsequent effect on public health. Preventive measures by the British government during plague epidemic under Epidemic Diseases Act 1897. I'll read out some of the measures in detail. The health officer can enter and inspect any house if they suspect it's infected with plague after giving notice. They can clean the house in such manner as may appear to him necessary to prevent the spread of the disease. In default of compliance with the requisition in the said notice to abate a dwelling which has been suspected to be infected, the chairman may summarily eject all the inmates or reduce the number of inmates in such manner and to such extent as may appear necessary. If the health officer thinks a hut or shed is a risk, the chairman can order it destroyed after giving notice to prevent disease spread. The structure and materials will be dismantled and destroyed by fire or other means. These are some of the pictures of plague in India. The health officers. The plague infected houses are being disinfected. Clothes of plague affected individuals are being burnt. Now, rumors during the plague epidemic, a culture of fear and mistrust. The Viceroy has met a yogi in some remote part of the Himalayas and promised he would sacrifice 2 lakhs of human lives to the goddess Kali, the mother, to save the British Empire in India. A patient infected with plague in the plague hospital in Maniktola, Calcutta, was forced to take poison in the guise of medicine, which brought instantaneous death. People regarded plague hospitals as the temple of Yama, the house of horrors, the place of killing the sinners. He has gone to Maniktola, became a euphemism for he has gone to his resting place. A woman arrived at Howrah station by Bombay mail and then moved forward to Calcutta after hiring a carriage. When she reached Harrison Road in central Calcutta, the carriage driver asked her, "Which place do you wish to go?" The woman replied, "Don't you know who I am? I am the goddess of plague." Then, all on a sudden, she disappeared. This story spread like wildfire, and people started shouting, "Plague, plague everywhere. Better flee the city," as described by Bengali author Premankur Atorthi. Rumors during COVID-19, a catalyst for chaos. Drinking freshly boiled garlic water is the ultimate remedy for COVID. Many messages talked about the impending scarcity of essential commodities and the possible disruptions of demand and supply chains of the market, prompting people to resort to panic buying and hoarding of ration and consumer goods all over the country. A video of a Muslim man spitting on police officers to escape quarantine and another of Muslim community members throwing stones on police also went viral. Video messages showing Muslim restaurant owners spitting on food, mosque members licking utensils, and a Muslim vendor spitting on fruits and vegetables to allegedly infect people with the virus took people off guard. A viral message explained the scientific basis for clapping at 5 p.m., the time given by the PM in his speech, claiming how some astrological phenomena at the time combined with sound energy generated through utensils and claps will kill the virus, just like temple bells were used to purify environment in ancient days. The Indian poultry market suffered a loss of over 21.68 million US dollars a day due to fake news linking the spread of COVID-19 to chickens. Farmers have been forced to destroy poultry products, kill or dump chickens as a result of the regular dissemination of fake messages linking the spread of virus to eating of chicken or any type of meat. A false rumor claimed COVID vaccination would impact sexual urge and fertility. One of the most bizarre pseudoscientific cures included drinking cow's urine, and in one such incident, a cow urine party was also organized in New Delhi to prevent and cure the virus. The cow urine drinking party in New Delhi. And some fake news is the rumors. COVID-19 rumors in West Bengal, consequences and chaos. A 25-year-old man returned to his village in Gaighata, not 24 Parganas, after losing his job in Kolkata due to COVID-19. Rumors spread that he was infected with COVID-19 as he had a cough. Villagers forced him to self-isolate at home for 14 days. Despite testing negative, the rumors persisted, leading to his tragic suicide. A sweet shop owner's family in Berhampur, West Bengal, was forced into self-isolation after villagers saw two relatives visiting from outstation for treatment. An audio clip circulating on WhatsApp sparked rumors that the outsiders had infected the family with COVID-19, despite no actual infection. Rumors of ESI Hospital, Bengal, West Bengal, being converted into a COVID-19 hospital sparked protests by laborers who relied on the hospital for affordable treatment. The laborers were concerned about losing access to healthcare services, leading to a massive outcry against the proposed conversion. COVID-19 preventive measures, Government of India. These are the measures. Funeral gatherings limited to 20 persons, health services, agriculture, finance, public utilities, and essential commodities allowed, commercial and private sectors, select ones, operational, wearing face cover compulsory in public places and workplaces, maintain 6 feet distance in public places, spreading false alarms or warnings punishable with imprisonment or fine. Section 54 Disaster Management Act 2005. Epidemic of fear, rumors, coercion, and the plague in 1890s India. Examining the rumors prevalent during the late 19th century plague epidemic in India reveals a pervasive tone of anti-British sentiment. To understand the genesis of this sentiment, it is necessary to scrutinize the regulations issued by the British government under the Epidemic Diseases Act of 1897. A close analysis of these regulations reveals that the government conferred unchecked power upon inspectors tasked with visiting households during the plague. The frequent invocation of the phrase, as it may appear to him necessary, effectively granted inspectors unrestricted power to conduct inspections as they deemed fit. Furthermore, the regulations stipulated that if inspectors encountered resistance or non-cooperation from household occupants, they were empowered to employ force to gain entry, ostensibly to detect potential plague infections or sufferers. This created an atmosphere of fear and confusion among the masses, who were already grappling with unprecedented crisis of plague. The rationale behind these stringent regulations can be understood through the lens of David Arnold's analysis, which situates the British government's actions within the broader context of colonial control and the rise of Indian nationalism. By the 1890s, Indian cities had become increasingly troublesome for colonial authorities, with growing populations, poverty, and disease exacerbating social tensions. The British administration, perceiving Indian ignorance and hostility as obstacles to progress, adopted an antagonistic stance towards the Indian public, using the plague as a pretext to assert Western medicine. If we look at the timeline, Western medicine took almost a century to establish its career in India. It epitomized during the plague epidemic in India in the late 19th century. Now, if we examine the plague years in India, we'll be able to see that since the killing spree of the disease during the late 19th century was totally new to the Indians, they had to face the death tolls unprepared. On the other hand, there was no consensus among doctors on how to treat this disease. Many doctors followed Dr. W. M. Hafkin's inoculation process, but we cannot, without any doubt, say that this particular process was very successful. The Plague Commissioner James A. Lawson in 1897 said the pain and discomfort of the inoculation process was so great that unless the procedure could be sprung on a whole community all at once, the results of inoculating a few were generally sufficient to cause the remainder to fight shy of any such vaccination. The stringent regulations issued by the British government under the Epidemic Diseases Act of 1897 had a special, if not pivotal, role in stimulating the rumors. To understand how rumors shaped the Indian psyche against Western medical treatment, we can recall the rumors spread about the plague hospital in Maniktola, Calcutta. COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in India, a snapshot. A study conducted in December 2020 revealed significant COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy across India, with concerns about side effects and vaccine safety being the primary reasons. The study found the following no or not sure rates among various groups. These are the outcomes, and this was the outcome of vaccination process. Comparative analysis of rumors during the plague and COVID-19 epidemics in India. The rumors during COVID, often spread through social media and other channels, contributed to hesitancy and mistrust among the population. Unlike the plague epidemic in 1890s, the COVID-19 measures implemented by the government were not coercive, and there was no mention of using force to enforce vaccination. The government also made efforts to keep the public informed about the rules, regulations, and the preventive measures, which helped reduce anti-government sentiment. The nature of COVID-19 related rumors differed from those spread during the plague epidemic, as they lacked an anti-government undertone. However, both situations were marked by panic and a lack of awareness about the disease. The government used the Disaster Management Act of 2005 to address rumors with with punishments under Section 54 for spreading misinformation. In contrast, no such regulations existed during the plague epidemic, and the measures taken were often perceived as treating the Indian population as criminals. During the plague epidemic, print media facilitated the spread of rumors, whereas during COVID-19 pandemic, electronic news media and social media played a significant role in disseminating false information. The COVID-19 pandemic was marked by a distinct proliferation of rumors which diverged from those during the plague epidemic, insofar as they encompassed communal accusation undertones. For example, according to a report by BBC News, 1st July 2020, misinformation targeting Muslims spiked in the first week of April 2020 when several members of an Islamic group called Tablighi Jamaat, who had attended a religious gathering in Delhi, tested positive. As more members of the group tested positive, false claims about Muslims deliberately spreading the virus became viral. Pervasive skepticism towards vaccine and the dissemination of unorthodox remedies. Furthermore, these rumors precipitated a climate of social ostracism, wherein individuals suspected of or infected with the virus were subjected to boycott or stigmatization. This boycott resulted in several cases of depression, which led to suicides. Social media platforms were flooded with unverified remedies and other health-related misinformation. This phenomenon reflects the concept of post-truth coined in 1992, which describes a situation where emotional narratives and personal beliefs outweigh objective facts in shaping public opinion. A study says the COVID-19 is the new flashpoint in what has been called the post-truth era. The spread of misinformation during COVID-19 pandemic is particularly concerning as it can lead to the acceptance of unproven and potentially harmful solutions. Indian TV news channels such as ZTV and India TV and news agency ANI contributed to the spread of misinformation. However, fact-checking websites like Alt News, Factly, Checkit, and boom played a crucial role in debunking false information. The emergence of fact checking websites marked a significant shift in the way of misinformation is addressed. Unlike during the plague epidemic, when rumors spread primarily through word of mouth, the COVID 19 pandemic saw the rapid dissemination of false information through social media. In light of the analysis presented, it is evident that the dissemination of misinformation and rumors played a significant role in exacerbating the impact of both the plague epidemic and the COVID 19 pandemic in India. The examination of the preventive measures issued by the government and the rumors that circulated during these periods highlights the critical role of media in shaping public perceptions and response. Ultimately, this study underscores the need for a concerted effort to address the spread of misinformation and promote a culture of accuracy and trust in information dissemination, particularly in times of crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for that compelling presentation. Your exploration of epidemics, narrative circulation, and the sociocultural responses actually opens up wild conversation about how public health histories are shaped not only by medical events but also by rumor and collective memory. Moving on, it's my pleasure to introduce our second paper presenter for the evening, Ms. Sai Shri, who is currently pursuing her MA in English through distance education at EFLU, Hyderabad. Her title for presentation is Women Poets of Marathi Literature from Bhakti era to the current period, Changes and Challenges. Her research examines the profound contributions of women poets in Marathi literature from the Bhakti movement up to the contemporary era. Through lenses of class and gender dynamics and employing close reading methodologies, her paper traces how themes, voices, and expressions have evolved over centuries. We are delighted to have you here and invite you to begin your presentation. Ms. Sai Shri. Ms. Sai Shri, you can begin your presentation.
Yes, I am audible.
Have power here. It's still
Not audible, Sai Shri. There's some interruption.
Yeah, I thought my system was not working. I can't hear.
Preeti, I couldn't use the link sent, and join directly. So I had to go to Google Meet and then copy the link and then join. There is some problem this time. I don't know.
Sai is not on the call, right?
Yes.
Hi, Sai. Yeah. She's having a problem in sharing her PPT in terms of connectivity. I think that is interrupting her connectivity. So she says that she will present without the PPT.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we can take questions for Abhik's paper till Sai joins. Srilata, could we take questions on Abhik's paper?
Yes, we can. I think we can do that.
Yeah.
Can I just ask?
Yes, yes, you can start.
Yes. Abhik, can I ask you this? You gave us the presentation. I mean, you gave a comparative presentation of the plague and COVID-19 and the way people reacted. I mean, the information, negative information received by people, right? I just wanted to know your comments on the way the COVID-19. They said that the COVID-19 was COVID-19 measures, okay, were all based on the plague. There was saying like that. So how far did it impact that kind of thing, impact in West Bengal?
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. The COVID-19 impact in West Bengal was far-reaching. In many districts, there was an ongoing death toll, and especially the districts that are far from Calcutta, uh, they were facing the lack of proper treatment and proper communication about how to react to the disease, react to the treatment, uh, and that's why the apart from Calcutta, the other districts uh, were facing much bigger threat than Calcutta.
Do you think that it was both similar, the treat, I mean, the information given by the government for plague and the way it was executed during the COVID-19? Was there was there any similarity you noticed in your place from what you researched?
In my place, ma'am, I'm from northern part of West Bengal. My hometown is there, and during COVID, I experienced uh, rumors uh, like all over like the rest of India experienced. Uh, what I personally experienced was that uh, this garlic, the boiled garlic water was very common. It was also in my place. That eating, that drinking boiled garlic water uh,
Prevent,
will reduce the yeah,
increase immunity. Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and so the fact checking websites like Factly or Alt News, uh, since I live in such place that is very much rural, uh,
Abhik, I have a question. I want to learn more about how we identify fake news because there's so much out on social media. Recently, I saw a video of a person in army uniform with the name of the official given and some information about changes in selection in army, which was shocking to me. I don't want to go into what he was mentioning. Um, so, um, how do you identify whether a video like this is fake news or authentic? We are now in this post-truth era. Uh, so, is there? How do we identify what is fake, what is genuine? And also with all the uh, leverage or so liberty given through postmodernism and subjectivity, you know, where different people's subjectivities also have to be taken into consideration. Then where do you draw the line between uh, subjectivity, and fake news, or more than fake news, post something that is not true. So what is the how do you make out what is authentic? And um, so probably we to me it appears like we live in an era where we're not able to discern truth. It's everything is nebulous. Everything is nebulous. So is that what we mean by being in a post-truth era, that we are not able to establish the veracity of anything of things, and that everything is nebulous? It there it's a there's strands mixed up, strands of the authentic, not authentic, the objective, the subjective.
Ma'am,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Abhik left the meeting.
Okay. Anyone can answer this, or we can go to Sai's paper, and I'll contact Abhik and ask if he's left or he's.
I think
Maybe,
he got cut off right when he was
maybe
asking.
because of internet problem,
Oh, I
Preeti.
think probably
Yeah,
connected.
many are having difficulty,
He
staying
didn't
Okay,
complete
okay.
the question answer. That's why I said.
Yeah, I think I can see Professor and some other scholars on scholarly people on the call. We can discuss.
Yes, as pointed out by you, Preeti, it's very difficult to, draw the line between fake news and what is real and all that, especially with AI and deep fake and things like that. So we should try to find out. Maybe younger generation will know better, because sometimes, whenever we share something, our children tell us, no, this is fake news and all that.
Yeah,
There should
they
be,
know better. They immediately
yeah,
say, yeah.
they somehow find out, and sometimes the news also comes as
If you
fake news.
check on
That's the,
multiple websites,
yeah.
but sometimes something things get replicated. Um, like who's controlling the narrative? That's what truth is about. No, post-truth.
There's so much
Yeah,
happening
Abhik has come.
politically, and yeah, so much is happening all around the world.
Abhik,
So
before you left, I started a question.
Sorry, ma'am. I had lost my
Yeah,
connection.
actually, could you explain the term post-truth? I understand post-truth to be a mixture of truth and fiction, and that it is difficult to separate truth from fiction in the present age that we are in. That is my understanding. And second thing is, you also said there's so much of fake news going around. How do you identify what is fake and what is authentic?
Sure, ma'am. Um, Actually, post-truth, uh, by the definition, post-truth is a condition in which objective facts are less influential in shaping public opinion than appeals to emotion and personal belief. It highlights a political and social environment where feelings and beliefs often take precedence over verifiable data, leading to the proliferation of misinformation and fake news. And uh, what was your another question, ma'am?
So how do you identify what is fake?
Um,
Fake news.
we're living in such an era that when uh, what is the actual truth or fact, uh, and which information is mixed with some other information uh, which is not reliable. So, in during the COVID period, the information like that we have discussed that boiled garlic water. Uh, this information came through a message, WhatsApp forward, and it said that a Chinese doctor invented this remedy, and since and people believed because since COVID first appeared in Wuhan, China, and the the misinformation about that garlic water, and which carried the word that it was invented in China, and people took it to be true uh, because they believed that since China is to blame for COVID, the spread of this virus, uh, and then if the remedy is coming from that country, which first you know spread COVID, uh, there must be there is some truth, and that's why people uh, believed it. In various cases, this thing happens.
Thank you, Abhik. Maybe you can come back. We can continue this discussion after Sai presents her paper.
Okay.
Sai Shri Ramamurthy.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Could I start, ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Oh. Happy evening. Women poets of Marathi literature from Bhakti era to the current period, changes and challenges. Women poets in Marathi have always played a prominent role in literature, especially in oral tradition and also in written. Themes like class and gender dynamics have been intricately linked in their poems. Women have subtly and boldly talked about caste and gender oppression, dignity of labor, and spirituality. Bhakti movement, Varkari movement. Varkari movement involves the singing of Abhangas and Ovis. Those are nothing but they are poems, not just written but sung as they went on a pilgrimage. Like people gathered from around 200 to 300 kilometers. They walked 200 to 300 kilometers to Pandarpur, to visit Vithoba, and this we call as Varkari movement. They came in groups. This groups were formed not based on any caste or anything. So this brings in unity amongst different castes and even genders. Varkari movement involves singing bhajans, as I said, abhangas and movies, reciting the name of Vithoba. It facilitated unity among the devotees, breaking caste and gender barriers, and emphasizes spiritual equalities. Abhangas were sung as they went on a pilgrimage to Pandarpur. Women poets of Varkari movement include poet saints like Janabai and Muktabai. Servant Saint Janabai. Vithoba works beside me. Here we can see Vithoba helping Janabai do domestic chores, perform domestic duties. Janabai's poem can be compared to that of Bharadiyar's, because in Bharadiyar's poems we can see Bharadiyar considers Krishna as a female friend and different relationships. This Janabai's poems can be compared to that of Bharatiya's as she talks about Vitala being there with her while she does her household chores. She dignifies household labor, hints at the absurdity of priestly dominance. Though it is not so obvious, but she does hint at the absurdity of priestly dominance. She worked as a servant in the household of Saint Namdev, and this can be compared to that of Phyllis Wheatley. Phyllis Wheatley is the first published black woman in the US, and her master helped her publish her books, and she went on to have an interview with a panel and then became the first published black woman in the US. But then there is a subtle difference because Namdev respects Janabai as a fellow saint and not as a servant maid. Jani works, but her mind rests in Vittal. Her actions shine brighter than mine. This is what Namdev says about Janabai. Her abhangas dignify labor and household chores, breaking the barriers of caste and gender in the 13th century. She feels that performing domestic work, domestic labor, household chores takes her closer to Vitala. Most of her poems are inherited by oral tradition. Muktabai. She was the youngest sibling of saint poets, and her family was ostracized. She belonged to a saint family. She feels that a pilgrimage is internal. It's more of an inward journey and it is not external. Her lines roughly translated: why do you ask about caste, O Changdev? Look first at the door standing between us. Your mind is swollen with pride, and pride bears its own bitter fruit. Kanopatra. Kanopatra was a courtesan turned devotional poet. She was a singer and dancer. She was extremely talented. She found solace in Pandarpur and preferred spiritual freedom to social bondage, though it has been said that she was extremely beautiful and talented. She devoted herself to Vithoba. My body and mind are yours, Vitala. No worldly lover has a claim on me. She fights for her rights and asserts herself through her bhakti. She makes a statement and she makes it really clear and loud through her bhakti. Sant Soyarabai. She belonged to the Mahar caste and she was a disciple of her husband Chokamela. Soyarabai framed large literature using blank verse of her own devising. She wrote much, but only 62 works are known. Her writings reflect the socio-cultural scenario of Dalits. Again, she uses devotion to bring about equality as she was doubly marginalized based on caste, based on gender. She challenged oppression. She says that I am called inauspicious, impure. This body of mine the world considers low, yet within my very being dwells Vithoba. How shall I explain this to the world? Challenges faced by 16th century Marathi women poets. After the Bhakti movement, there was increased casteism and hierarchical structures. The openness has been drastically decreased after the Bhakti movement. There were anonymous authors and oral tradition, and songs sung while performing domestic duties, they were not considered or not documented. Sant Bahina Bai. Her poems prioritize surrender to God and Guru. Her poems can be compared to that of Janabai's as they dignify domestic work and say that household duties are spiritual. They believe that household duties take them closer to the Lord. My hands grow heavy with household work. My body aches. My spirit tires. But Bahina Bai says, the Lord stands behind me. And so, the labor becomes lighter. 18th century marked a Peshawar rule. Hierarchical structures on the rise. Rise of performance tradition. There are different class of women poets, and these are some of them. Sevakarans are women who performed in the temples. They were called as Sevakarans. Lavanikarans were people who perform political satire, erotic love, intimate monologues, humor, and women's critique of men. Kalavant women, they are actually the elite of the marginalized. They were still marginalized, but elite of the marginalized. Kalavant women of Peshwa courts, they were teachers of music and etiquettes. They had financial independence and property. They received patronage from the nobles. Radhabai combines devotion and feminism. Her poems are written in the form of abhangas. They focus on everyday women's life. Amid the course of my home, I sing your name, O Lord. Radhabai rests in her heart, rooted only in you. Bhavani Bai Gokhale wrote devotional reflections on impermanence, the transient life, spiritual surrender, and daily life. Her works survive in some Bhakti anthologies. I grind the grain and the stone turns, but my mind turns only around you, O Lord, standing on the brick. 19th century women poets focused on equality, the sufferings of women and women's rights. They fought strongly and boldly for women empowerment through education, reform, and they also spoke about motherhood and spirituality. They also wrote didactic verses, social reform, and justice. Savitribai Phule, she was the first female teacher of India and also the first published poet of Marathi, published woman poet of Marathi. She fought against caste discrimination along with her husband and for women empowerment along with her husband again. There were two books written by her, Kavya Phule and Bhavan Kashi Shubodh Ratnakar. She has questioned strongly about patriarchy. Only when women and men stand equal can true progress be made. Without education, how will women change their future? I guess this can be compared with Vindication of Rights by Mary Wollstonecraft. Tarabai Shinde, she fought alongside Savitribai Phule. She authored Sri Purush Tulana, a comparison between men and women. She fought fiercely against patriarchy and she was very vocal about moral policing of women. Women and man are equals. Shanta Shelke, she wrote ghazals, songs, poems, film lyrics, children's poems, essays, and translation. She was a professor of Marathi at various colleges in Maharashtra. She contributed to Marathi films, All India radio programs. She combined classic poetic sensibility with popular song-like clarity. Me, Radhika, like Radha in the moonlit grove, I lose myself in your name. One glance from you, and suddenly my entire world becomes tender flame. Vasha Pawar, her style of poetry is introspective. She talks about nostalgia. She also writes about social issues and justice. Meera Kosambi, she is an author and a translator. She has authored books like Bombay in Transition, Women in Modern India, and Urbanization and Urban Development in India. She has also translated poems of Ramabai, Pandita Ramabai, through her own words. I don't know Marathi. I know nothing about Marathi literature. I have done some reading so that I can make this presentation. So please forgive me if I couldn't do justice.
I think you've done a wonderful, given us a wonderful presentation. And considering that it is Marathi, you have gone to the extent of for going to research on all of those, and especially Bhakti. It's difficult to understand, but one thing about the Bhakti poets that you highlighted was that they are all of them, you know, validated equality, and therefore the differences of caste and creed, all those. I think those things in those days, that was a leveler considered, and you have pointed out that the later women, they all of them talked about discrimination. I mean, stopping discrimination of any kind later, Fule's and the Pasabi and all the others. So it was a very good presentation. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sai Shri, for that insightful and nuanced presentation. It was truly enlightening.
Just a minute. Can I respond? Yes, Sai Shri, it was a very good overview of all the women poets of Marathi literature, right from Bhakti movement to the present times. Okay, like I just want to highlight that abhangs are supposed to be huge in number. So there are actually thousands of abhangs written by men as well as women also. So among them, the most famous would be uh, Janabai and Muktabai and maybe Savitribai Phule. Savitribai Phule I've known as a social reformer, but not as a poet. So while I was browsing through the net, I got to know about her, ability to write and all that. So most of these abhangs were mainly devotional in nature. So, and along with that, they brought in they wanted to eliminate the caste system or any kind of a discrimination, gender discrimination, because all are equal before God. So, and every abhang is actually devoted to Lord Panduranga at Pandharpur. So, being a Maharashtrian, I know quite a lot of abhangs actually, and they were all not known to South India. So, there are quite a few people, singers, Pushpa Anand and Kavita Sri Ram. So many people, Vittal Das Maharaj, so many of them, Ganapati Maharaj, and people living in Bombay, Aruna Sai Ram, Shankar Mahadevan, Mahesh Kale. So many people have actually made it very, very popular. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known much about these abhangs at all. But they are highly devotional in nature. And that's what, when I visited Pandharpur, I realized that. So everybody, people from every community, they come in, groups, like Varkari, this one is tradition is there. So they walk hundreds of kilometers, hundreds of miles, and then come to Pandharpur during Ashad Ekadasi festival and all that. So it's a great thing about that. I don't know much about Marathi literature as such, but abhangs we do know about. So we keep listening to them and we attend concerts and all. So the one highlighting factor is uh, devotion, the aspect of devotion, which is there for everybody. So all are equal before God. So that concept is very, very important. And that is mainly brought out through the abhangs and other poems of great writers. So that way I was really, very eager to listen to your presentation. Yeah. And
Thank you
one
so
more,
much, ma'am.
just a small correction. It's not abangas. It is
Mm-hmm.
abang.
Okay,
Abang,
ma'am. Okay,
not
ma'am.
abangas. Abang. Actually, it also refers to the flow of poetry, they say. In all the
Mm-hmm.
songs, no?
Mm-hmm.
A bang. There is no bangam. In Tamil also we say, no, bangam. There
Mm-hmm.
is no interruption or any kind of, something to hindrance
Mm-hmm.
to the flow of, uh, words and all that. That's why it's called a bang. So it's called
Okay,
abang
ma'am.
together. Yeah, that's one correction I just wanted to
Okay, ma'am.
tell
I
you.
don't know Marathi, so please
Yeah,
forgive me if I haven't done
that's
justice,
okay.
ma'am.
That's okay. No, no. Even see, I'm a Maharashtrian. I speak Marathi at home, but still I don't know much of Marathi literature. Being in South India, I don't know. But
Mhm.
Abhangs we know because it's all devotional. We do listen to them and then sing them and all that. That's how I got to know quite a few things
Sai,
about it.
I want to know what is the date, or because Savitri, we met Savitri by, you mentioned Savitri by Phule, and she's associated with the Dalit liberation.
Yes, ma'am.
Uh, so that would be the 1970s, right? Savitri Bai,
Not 1970s, ma'am. It was much before that. It was actually the 19th century itself, ma'am.
19th century. Even Savitri Bai Phule.
Yes,
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
yes, much earlier, Preeti. It is much earlier, not
okay.
1970s and all.
Then also, actually, there's this conversion to Buddhism also is there, no, in Maharashtra. So this Bhakti thing, when was it in relation to Hinduism, and when was that deflection to Buddhism? Is it something Buddhism?
That part I don't know, Preeti, but all this Bhakti movement started way back in 13th, 14th century.
Mm.
So we have Namdev, Tukaram. Tukaram comes in the 17th century,
No,
but even before him,
mm,
Namdev, Eknath, Gyaneshwar,
Dhyaneshwar.
all these people come much earlier. So 13, 14, 16, 17, like that. So every
but I
century
mean,
will
I'm
have.
referring to Bhakti poets who who have addressed the issue of caste, who experienced rejection
All
on the
of them,
basis of
almost
caste.
many of them, Preeti, other than
Okay.
the devotional part of it, they have also, brought in this kind of an consciousness, like everybody is equal. That kind of a thing is
Mm.
there. That's why I think it's very popular there. And we can see all kinds of people thronging to Pandharpur. So actually, that is our family deity. So that's why I know more about Pandharpur, and all these abhangs are actually devoted to Lord Panduranga, not any other deity. Maybe in, I
I
don't know.
think
I'm
that
not
the
aware of it, but mostly it
Bhakti
is.
literature would precede the Buddhist thing. I'm sure.
Oh, that part I don't know, Preeti.
Yeah,
I
because the
will have to check
Buddhism is
on that.
associated with the Dalit, with
Oh,
Ambedkar
Buddhism.
and
Mm.
post Ambedkar,
Mm.
right?
Mm. Yeah, maybe that part I don't know. Like
Mm.
I'm not able
And who's
to.
that poet, Sai? I grind the grain. I didn't get the second name. This Gokhale.
Eknath,
Ma'am, one is Jana Bai.
Janabai,
No,
Yes, ma'am.
Bhavani.
Namdev.
Bhavani Bai Gokhale, ma'am.
Bhavani Bai Gokhale. Okay. Can you read those lines? I like them.
1 minute, ma'am. I grind the grain and the stone turns, but my mind turns only around you, O
Mm.
Lord, standing on the brick.
Mm. Very nice.
See, Vitala actually comes from the term that is used to refer to the brick only. So the person who stands on the brick. There's a story regarding that. It's a belief that there was a great devotee of Lord Panduranga. He had to serve his blind parents. So Lord Vitala comes to his home, and then and it keeps raining and all. And this devotee, I think it is Pundalika. He wants to attend to his parents, and then he makes Lord wait over there. So he says, "I am actually getting wet. How do I stand?" So he throws a big brick, and then he makes Vitala stand on that. That is how you get the name Vitala. So
Mm.
Vitkar, Vitala, that comes from the name, from the term brick in
Mm.
Marathi.
I made notes of Abhik's and Sai's presentations. Very interesting, both presentations. And I like the title, Sai, of Abhik, Infodemic and Epidemic. It's very nicely put.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think, if you study the channels of information and misinformation, if you can, for your whatever research you're doing, if you can make that flow diagram, you can
Yes.
you can make a graph, you can represent it graphically.
Right, ma'am. Sure.
That would be
I'll do
nice.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we used to have the flow chart, like
Right,
something
ma'am.
like
Sure.
that, either a flow chart, or you do some, you kind of study the how this happens, how the misinformation happens, and you would try to make a graphic presentation of that.
Sure, ma'am. I'll do that.
So QMC girls who are on the call, I hope you've taken notes and you've learned something. Shall we close the session? Girls, do you have any questions? Not just questions. If you want to appreciate the paper, you want to make some observations, you want to say thank you for the paper, you're welcome. You can even post in the chat box. After that, we'll close.
Just a piece of information to those who do not know.
Yeah.
Savitri Bai has contributed so much as a social reformer. So
Mm.
there is a university also, Savitri Bai Phule
Mm.
University in Pune. I think it's named after her. Yeah.
Actually, when I was thinking of our students, see, in Tamil Nadu, anti-caste writing would uh, be atheist where you have the Periyar influence, and there would be anti-caste expressions in Bhakti writing also in Tamil Nadu. So I think Sai, this is one thing that we can think of when we talk about um, this caste and gender being addressed. One, it is addressed in the Bhakti vein, and it's also addressed in the rational vein. So see, with Ambedkar and all, it was rationalist thought, right? So many women writers, poets were influenced by Ambedkar, especially in Maharashtra. In Tamil Nadu, writers, I don't know how many women poets or writers, but definitely Periyar influence is there. And there will be also uh, people who have the devotional approach. They are devotees and they see God as being non-partisan, God as accepting everyone, um, and God as accepting them, whereas they are rejected by human beings on the basis of caste and gender, but they find the divine giving them acceptance and love.
Yes, Maria, the Bhakti movement endorsed that equality, in all, whether it was Hindi or any other North Indian literature, wherever you have the Bhakti movement, they went against caste because Tulsi Das, Kabir Das, all of these are considered in Hindi as what is it? They are, Bhakti poets. They are all different, come from different communities. So there is no thing there. But in Maharashtra, Buddhism came in only with Ambedkar. Particularly, there are a whole lot of Maharashtrians who are, Buddhists. I think one particular caste community, I think they endorse the Buddha and his rational way of thinking. I think thanks to Ambedkar.
Mm.
So you have both they are highly spiritual when it comes to Vitala, Panduranga. The other part is the rational part.
Mm.
And I liked her way of comparing it to the American, right? One or two of those poets to the American women poets, no, early women, I mean, early women writers, trailblazers in among the blacks. She
Yeah,
did,
that Phyllis Wheatley, that reference to
yes,
Phyllis Wheatley, how she was adopted by white master and how they
well,
encouraged her to
yeah,
publish her
so
works. And
I think she
yes,
mentioned two of them. That
yes,
also
and
was.
Wollstonecraft, Mary Wollstonecraft.
There it was Bhakti Yoga. Again, if you look up there, again it is Bhakti because
Mm.
they were all I mean, staunch Christians
Mm.
that saw them through slavery.
Mm.
Christianity that saw them through all that slavery.
Mm. Ironically,
Yes,
ironically,
yes.
they had was white Christian masters who enslaved them, but it was.
That is also there. But the faith then came from the blacks who were staunch, okay, the Christians, most of them there. It's similar
Ironically,
everywhere.
paradoxically சொல்லலாம். Mm.
It is same all over the world. It is the same. Faith sees them through all these differences. So the Bhakti movement in the earliest up to the 17th, I think, was the Bhakti movement in all literatures of India.
Who are the American poets, Sai? Phyllis Wheatley and?
Phyllis Wheatley. And Mary Wollstonecraft, she said.
No,
Oh,
she mentioned that one quote. There were
oh,
others. That,
okay,
I
okay.
forget the names. I mean, now that I'm away from teaching, I forget the names of all the early women who all they were staunch Christians who broke. I mean, went through all this. Yes.
Mary Wollstonecraft is British.
Mm. No, Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley was not a Christian. I mean, staunch Christian or anything like that. She was
Rational, rational.
rational, very rational. The American black women who stood up for civil rights later were all again uh, they were all uh, uh, they all staunchly believed in the Bible.
Sai, as maybe you can call this paper revolutionary devotional writings. You- Something like that. Yeah. Okay. I hope who's here from our QMC students? Rufus sir is here. Thank you, Rufus sir. Okay, we'll close this session. I think people are dropping out of the call.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful day.
That's it? Okay. So thank you, Sai. Thank you, Abhik.
Okay.
Thank you, Srilata. Thank
Okay.
you, Purnima.
Thank you, Preeti. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Rufus once spoke on that, no?
Sai is Rufus's mentee.
Okay, okay. No, he did speak on that COVID and the medical
Ah,
implications of all that, no? Along with all of once. I think there was a.
when we had that lecture series in
Yeah,
2000,
yes, yes, sir. Yes, yes.
yeah,
Some of these, whatever he was giving, was
yes,
also mentioned there.
yes.
I thought he'd comment.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay then.
Bye.